Hi, and welcome to episode 2 on our series on video cameras. In the last episode, we talked about 4 main tiers of cameras, their different sensor sizes, and what that means for your footage. In this episode, we'll look at image quality. And by the end, if I've done my job, you'll know all the technical differences between the 4K footage on your phone and the 4K footage at the cinema. Okay, for starters, think of your camera's footage as a lake. There's the surface area, your 4K resolution. But there's also depth. How much information is in every pixel? We describe image quality in bit rate, bit depth, and Chroma Subsampling. It gets jargony, but bear with me. Bit rate is essentially the amount of data the camera records per second, and generally, the higher bit rate, the more information is coming off the sensor. This is an important number when you're looking at consumer and prosumer cameras because it tells you a lot about the quality, but it's a little less important as you go up the line. By the time you get to pro camcorders, bit rates are so high they're at about the maximum you can write to the camera's media. That's where bit rate levels off, and ways of compressing footage start to come into play. So yeah, I'll look at bit rate when I'm in the market for a DSLR, but not so much when I'm comparing cinema rigs. Bit depth is the number of colors your camera can read. 8-bit reads 256 reds, greens, and blues. That's around 16 million colors. Whereas 10-bit reads 1024 of each color, and that's around 1 billion colors per pixel. Most consumer cameras are 8-bit, where pro camcorders and cinema cameras can record 10-bit and much higher. So now you know how much information your camera's recording and over how many colors per pixel. But that's still not the whole story, because reading millions or billions of colors from every pixel takes a lot of processing power. So, cameras cheat, and only read the color from some of the pixels and then fill in the gaps by guessing what's in between. This is what we call Chroma Subsampling, and I know that sounds like sci-fi jargon, but it just means sampling some of the colors. Most consumer cameras sample 420. That means for every 2 rows of 4 pixels, the camera only reads color data from 2 pixels in the first row and none in the second row. So it's only reading a quarter of the color data. Cameras shooting 422 read 2 pixels per row, or half the color data. And 444 cameras read the color of every single pixel. Most consumer cameras shoot 420. Professional camcorders shoot 422, while only the highest-end cinema cameras record 444. And just a note, because it's not confusing enough, most cameras that record one quality of footage internally are able to record a higher quality of footage externally. So what does all this jargon mean in the real world? Here's some footage recorded 8-bit 420, 8-bit 422, and 10-bit 422. Here are the points to notice. There's a huge jump in quality from 420 to 422. You can see the banding in the gradients with the lower quality footage, and if you zoom in, you can see blocky artifacts due to low chroma subsampling. When comparing 8-bit versus 10-bit with the same 422 subsampling, you'll notice the better color depth gives skin tones a smoother, more realistic look. So you see, 4K resolution isn't everything. Image quality is. I hope this answers some of your questions. Make sure to take a look at episode 3 where we'll talk about camera functionality. Thanks for watching.